Imagine this. You've finally done everything right. You spent the last 3 years eating ramen, skipping vacations, and driving a car that sounds like it's having a midlife crisis, all to save up that $75,000 down payment. You walk into what the listing called a charming starter home, which is actually just a 1,100 square foot box that hasn't seen a paintbrush since the Clinton administration, and the realtor tells you with a straight face that the asking price is $525,000. But here's the kicker. There are already 6 other offers on the table. 3 of them are all cash bids from institutional hedge funds that don't even plan to live there. They just want to turn your American dream into their rental cash cow. And if you somehow win this bidding war, you're rewarded with a 7.2% interest rate that locks you into a $4,100 monthly commitment for a house that realistically needs a new roof and has a foundation crack the size of the Grand Canyon. You're standing on that cracked driveway, looking at your bank account, and you feel that heavy, sinking pit in your stomach. You feel like you're being forced to play a game where the rules were written by a committee of people who want you to be a permanent debt slave. You're told, buy now or be priced out forever, but the math in your head is screaming that something is fundamentally broken. Here is the cold-blooded reality that the real estate industry is trying to bury under a mountain of home sweet home signs. The 2026 housing market isn't an opportunity. It is a meticulously designed trap for the middle class. We're living through a period where the American dream has been weaponized against your net worth. While you're worrying about school districts and curb appeal, multi-billion-dollar algorithms are calculating exactly how much they can squeeze out of your monthly paycheck for the next 30 years. You aren't buying a home. You are signing up to be a high-interest revenue stream for a bank that wouldn't even recognize your name if you walk through their front door tomorrow. My name is Zack, and I spend way too much time thinking about the predatory mathematics of the 2026 real estate market. If you're someone who's feeling the pressure to buy now or be priced out forever, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, here's the thing. We've been conditioned to believe that a home is your greatest asset. In 2026, for most people, it's actually their greatest liability. Let's look at the cold-blooded reality. In 2026, the price-to-income ratio has hit a level that makes a 2008 bubble look like a minor hiccup. While your salary might have gone up 3% this year, the carrying cost of a home, property taxes, insurance premiums, and maintenance has skyrocketed by 14.8%. In states like Florida or Texas, homeowners insurance isn't just a bill anymore. It's a second mortgage. You are literally working the first 10 days of every month just to pay the bank and the insurance company for the privilege of owning a pile of bricks. Now, you might be thinking this doesn't apply to you because you're building equity. But let me show you why that's a dangerous lie. If you buy a $500,000 home with 10% down at 7.2% interest, you will pay roughly $36,000 in interest alone in your first year. Add in $8,452.30 for taxes, $3,610.15 for insurance, and at least $5,000 for the inevitable hidden repairs like that HVAC unit that's wheezing for mercy. That's $53,062.45 out the door. Your actual equity gain from principal paydown, a measly $6,214.80. You aren't building wealth. You're paying for a very expensive place to sleep while the bank builds wealth off your labor. It's a total shell game. Every 3 minutes I drop a truth bomb, so here's the first one. In 2026, saving for a down payment is often a form of financial suicide. If you are sitting on $100,000 in a safe, high-yield savings account earning 4%, but the housing market in your area is appreciating at 8%, and the real-world inflation on building materials is 12%, you are losing purchasing power every single second you wait. You are running a race against a predator that is faster than you. Saving is no longer the path to home worship. Increasing your active income is the only way to outrun the machine. Why do our brains keep falling for this? It's the psychology of FOMO, fear of missing out. Our brains are evolutionarily wired to follow the herd. If everyone else is buying, we feel unsafe if we don't. Then there's the sunk cost fallacy. Once you spent $2,450 on inspections, appraisals, and lawyer fees, you'll ignore the red flags in the foundation because you don't want to lose that initial investment. The system counts on your emotions overriding your calculator. It counts on lifestyle creep making you think you need the 4-bedroom house when a 2-bedroom apartment will let you invest $3,000 a month into assets that actually pay you back. Here is the second bombshell. The inventory shortage is a manufactured narrative. While it's true there aren't many houses for sale, it's not because people aren't building, it's because institutional investors, BlackRock, Vanguard, and private equity firms have bought up 26.4% of the SFL homes in major metros. They're not buying them to live in, they're buying them to turn you into a permanent renter-class citizen. When you bid on a house today, you're not competing with another family, you're competing with a multi-billion-dollar algorithm that doesn't care about neighborhood charm or where your kids go to school. They want the yield, and you are the crop they are harvesting. Now, you might be thinking, but Zack, home prices always go up over the long term. Look, that's a dangerous lie. Home prices go up until the affordability ceiling is hit. In 2026, we haven't just hit the ceiling, we've crashed into it. When the average monthly mortgage payment takes up 48.2% of the median household's pre-tax income, something has to break. Either incomes have to double, which the math says isn't happening, or prices have to adjust. Buying at the peak of an affordability crisis is like trying to catch a falling knife made up overpriced drywall and predatory lending. Direct confrontation time. If you're buying a house right now because you're tired of paying your landlord's mortgage, you're making a purely emotional decision. You are trading your mobility and your liquidity for a sense of stability that can be wiped out by a single job loss or a 10% market correction. In 2026, mobility is wealth. Being able to move for a $30,000 raise in a different state is a lot harder when you're house rich and cash poor, tethered to a 30-year debt contract on a property that's depreciating in real terms. Bombshell number 3. The 30-year fixed mortgage is the most expensive product you will ever buy. If you take that $450,000 loan at 7.2%, over 30 years, you will pay back over $1 million. You are buying one house for yourself and 2 houses for the bank. And yet, we call this ownership. It's not ownership, it's a long-term lease from the bank where you're responsible for all the repairs. But let's go deeper into the 2026 tax trap. People tell you the mortgage interest deduction is a huge benefit. Let's do the actual math. If you're in the 22% tax bracket and you pay $30,000 in interest, you might save $6,600. Congratulations, you just gave the bank $30,000 to save $6,600. That is a net loss of $23,400. In what world is losing $23,000 a benefit? Only in the world of real estate marketing where down is up and debt is wealth. Now let's talk about the maintenance myth. Most people budget 1% of the home's value for annual maintenance. In 2026, that's a joke. With the cost of copper, lumber, and skilled labor up 40% since 2022, a simple water heater replacement is now $2,830. A roof replacement, you're looking at $18,000 to $25,000. If you don't have that cash sitting in a liquid account, you're putting it on a credit card at 24% interest. Suddenly, your affordable home is eating your future retirement one repair at a time. Here's bombshell number 4. The appreciation you see on paper is often an illusion. If your home goes up $50,000 in value, but the cost of the next home you want to buy also goes up $60,000, you haven't gained anything. You've actually lost ground. You're trapped in a golden cage. Unless you plan to sell your house and move into a van or a country with a much lower cost of living, that equity is just a number on a screen that you can't eat or spend without taking out even more debt via a HELOC. So here's your roadmap to avoid the trap. Step 1, stop looking at Zillow as a hobby. It's digital poison designed to trigger your envy and bypass your logic. Step 2, calculate your unrecoverable costs. If your interest, taxes, insurance, and maintenance exceeds the cost of renting a similar place by more than 15%, stay in your rental. Step 3, take the difference, that $1,500 or $2,000 a month you would have spent on a mortgage, and invest it in liquid assets, index funds, high-yield bonds, or your own business. Assets that don't require a plumber and can be sold in seconds if the world catches fire. The 2026 housing market is a game of musical chairs, and the music is starting to stutter. The institutional players are already looking for the exits while they pump the buy now narrative to the public. Make sure you're not the one holding a $500,000 mortgage when the lights come on and the music stops. And look, I can't explain the entire 15-minute roadmap of how to navigate this real estate collapse and where exactly to pivot your capital in 60 seconds. The math of cap rates, institutional sell-offs, and tax advantage arbitrage is too dense for a quick summary. If you want to see the exact data and when I think the bubble finally pops, and the 3 specific sectors where I'm putting my money instead of into a bloated mortgage, you need to watch my next video, Where to Invest When Real Estate Fails. Hit the subscribe button right now if you're ready to stop being a pawn in the bank's game. I'm Zack. Don't buy the hype, do the math. I'll see you in the next one.